Kurt Bullard, who goes to Harvard, the Harvard Crimson sports writer, part of this sports analysis collective. Kurt, I got a Dartmouth guy in the room, McLovin, so you have to understand that. Yeah. Sorry about that. Could you have gotten into Dartmouth?
I think so. We'll never know.
Well, if you got into Harvard, you should be able to get into Dartmouth. Like, was Dartmouth your safety school?
Hey, Dan. Hey.
I don't want to make him mad, but I'm not going to say no.
All right. Explain to me what the Harvard Sports Analysis Collective does.
So essentially, it's just a collection of 25 to 30 students who are interested in sports. Harvard, usually not a hotbed of sports fandom, but there are a few of us who are really into sports and just like to look at sports in different ways. So there's this more serious, like, prediction models. So we've done prediction models like this NFL one. We've also done a prediction model on whether an NFL coach will be fired or not. And then there's more fun posts. So my friend wrote one on who's the biggest partier in the NBA based on who performs worse on Sundays. It turns out it's J.R. Smith, which is no surprise. So there's two different types of things we do, and it's pretty cool. Keeps me busy at school.
So you're looking at Saturday night, the aftershocks of Saturday night on a Sunday game, and J.R. Smith proved to be the biggest partier?
Yeah, that's what happened.
Okay, so you came up with the formula for the NFL. What did you factor in, and how did that bring about the Dolphins going to the Super Bowl?
So there's no easy way to go about this. If there were, people would be making a lot of money on it. So I looked at just the core of a team, what I define as the core. So you have, quarterback, running back, two wide receivers, tight end, and some of your best offensive linemen. And on your defense, you have the best four in the front seven, best two people in the secondary. And I aggregated what's called their approximate value statistic. And so Pro Football Reference attributes a numeric value to a player based on how much they contribute to a team. So quarterbacks tend to get more, whereas like defensive players and role players tend to get less. And so I aggregated those totals, converted those into an ELO ranking, which is a way to rank teams based on how they interact with each other, and then ran through simulations of the season based on the win probabilities I got from the ELO ranking. So Miami both had a great core and had a pretty easy schedule. If you look at their schedule, I think they have the Jaguars and Redskins to open up this season and a pretty easy schedule from there on out. So just the combination of those two made them a heavy favorite to make the playoffs from the AFC.
You got to slow down a little bit here, Kurt, okay? Because, you got a lot of C students here in the room.
And a lot of Dartmouth students, too. So.
Wow.
Whoa.
Wow. Did you understand what he was saying, McLevin?
Of course I understood.
Of course
it doesn't mean that it's valid. It's one way of looking at it.
This is what I didn't understand, Kurt. You didn't factor in coaching. Why?
That's true. I mean, it's very tough to quantify, and there's no way to really quantify it. And I was looking at it from a quantitative basis. So you do have, like, Joe Philbin, who, you look at Belichick and you look at Joe Philbin, I'm pretty sure 99% of the population would choose one coach over the other. I won't say which, but that's one flaw of the system is that, you can't really factor in coaching. And so obviously these probabilities are probably not entirely accurate based on that fact, but it just gives you a ballpark estimate of where these teams are at going into the season.
McLevin, would you like to respond?
Well, I mean, Kurt, if I may.
Sure.
Well, obviously, like, the approximate value doesn't look at the fact that, you have Jordy Nelson's in the top 5. He's there because Aaron Rodgers is throwing him the ball. You're not accounting teamwork, which is why football can't be measured by, like, baseball and basketball. It's all about the team. Everything you do is impacted by everything that happens next to you. Like Mario Williams and Marcel Darius are both in the top 10, but obviously they both make each other's job easier. So it's not a real – approximate value is really inaccurate, I think, for players. It's just a very rough measurement.
Oh, no, it absolutely is a very rough measurement, but it's probably the best one out there, and that's why I used it. Like you said, you have Jordy Nelson, who I think is probably a top 10 wide receiver on his own, honestly, based on – you look at the NFL top 100 that came out, and obviously that's not entirely accurate. You have Adam Vinatieri as a top 100 player on that list, but if you look at players across the league, even cornerbacks are saying that Jordy Nelson on his own is a very good wide receiver. Obviously, it helps have Aaron Rodgers, but on his own he's pretty good. And like you said, there are interaction terms. It's not baseball where you're hitting and no one else is really affecting how you're hitting. Like if you're a wide receiver, it depends on your quarterback. It's on your offensive line. It depends on what wide receivers you're playing. But this is just it was supposed to be a speculative exercise that happened to get a lot of attention and went viral, which has been pretty cool for me. But obviously, like you say, there are some flaws in the system.
McLovin,
and that's why.
Hold on, Kurt. McLovin has one more follow-up.
Wait, one more quick question, Kurt. The quarterback seems to be underestimated because the Bills and the Jets are in the top 10 of your list. The numbers added up for them. Like, when you saw them that high, didn't it concern you that they have unsettled quarterback situations?
Obviously, it does a little. The Jets, I thought, were pretty high, but I decided not to try to make too many changes. You don't want to overfit the system based on, your preferences beforehand. You try to be as unbiased as possible when you're trying to make these things, because you don't want to make a model and have some preconception of what the results should be and try to tailor your model so it fits that. Obviously, Geno Smith, not the greatest quarterback in the league, and same thing with the Bills. Their quarterback situation is a mess. Tyrod Taylor even might come out and start for that team. So obviously they're a little high, but their defenses are just very strong, some of the best in the league. So they could make it a fight in the AFC East for sure.
Well, Kurt, congrats on going viral there and, going after McLovin a little bit there. That's McLovin. Any follow-up there? It felt like I dropped the mic there by Kurt that last comment.
Kurt, you're a lot younger. You might want to look up the Ivy League football results from 1993 through 1997. 4 titles for the Big Green. No big deal.
This is kind of an Ivy League version of 8 Mile.
I like to think so.
Yeah. But who's Eminem?
I think that's me.
Oh, okay. Good luck with this, Kurt. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
All right, that's Kurt Bullard. He's a junior at Harvard, officer of the Harvard Sports Analysis Collective, a student-run organization at Harvard dedicated to the quantitative analysis of sports strategy and management.